Hello my gorgeous people, this is just a quick update on what the actual next week is going to turn out to be like, and I am talking about the week in between the 14th and the 20th of June 2021. So this weekly horoscope tarot card forecast is in between the 14th and 20th of June 2021, and I am going to start with my gorgeous and with my ever so precious Aries. My gorgeous Aries, you know, it is just like basically about the realization that you're going to have, and this is going to be so important to you, quite significant indeed, because you are at the same time going to become aware of the actual solution to an ongoing problem. And I really like this, because simply something is just going to come to you. Okay, and I really like this because it's just about the realization. It's like a bit of a realization, a bit of an idea, you know, and that in itself is going to be remarkable, because at the same time it's going to create the certain turning point, because it's going to bring you the actual faith where you didn't have it. You know, it's going to bring you the actual excitement. It's going to bring you, you know, the actual opportunity with like so many possibilities, you know. It's all going to be quite important part of your own progress, of your own journey. And this in itself is quite important time for this to actually happen, because at the same time, as I said earlier, we are entering a quite important part of the year. Now we are in June, so a lot what's going on in the June, it's actually going to set the target and set the actual ground for the rest of the year. So this is why I find this absolutely remarkable, the way the situation is going to turn out for you. So basically it's about you becoming aware of it, and it's just going to be like a moment like, oh my god, you know, you're just going to become aware of the actual it's to do with an opportunity, you know. It's to do with, first of all, it's going to be realization, and then it's like, you know, it's going to lead towards an important moment of the actual opportunity. And I really like this because it's going to bring you the happiness, you know, that you didn't feel for a while. Actually, I'm not saying that you were sad or anything, but I'm just saying that you are going to be able to feel the essence of what is actually going to come to you. And it's very difficult to explain until you actually enter this week, and you will see the bottom line is, you know, it's about the opportunity, it's about the new direction, it's about the actual option, you know, with, as I said, with like so many unlimited possibilities. But at the same time, it's going to mark the actual return of something very important when it comes to your life, and it's to do with your own faith indeed. Okay, so, and hope, you know, it's just like a hope. Oh my god, it's like it's going to lead down towards the actual opportunity, but it's more about the actual hope, you know. And you will see it's pretty much so to do with a specific part of your life, and this is why this is going to mean to you so much. Okay, the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Taurus, my gorgeous Taurini. You know, it is about you, you know, you are going to have like a little test, you know, this week, and the test is pretty much so to do with the actual balance. The balance is going to be pretty much perfect when it comes to you stepping towards an important direction in your life. But this in itself, it's really important, because once you do this, you know, something is going to happen and somebody's mask is going to fall. And this is really important because it's going to help you realize things that you didn't realize before, and most certainly it's going to help you to protect yourself from people who maybe don't mean that well, or maybe who are not meant to be part of your path and a part of your spiritual journey. I'm not talking about people who are like, oh my god, like in your life, like your family members or anything like that, but I'm talking about the actual direction and you stepping towards the unknown situation in your life, like trying something, like doing something, like making the certain step. And once you do this, you know, you're going to realize, you know, exactly who do you kind of need to avoid. And this is very important because most certainly it's going to be super relevant when it comes to you kind of redirecting yourself with your life, you know. On another hand, you just need to kind of like, if something doesn't make sense to you, you know, or if you want to like kind of like make some kind of a deal with certain person or certain people and things like that, if something doesn't make sense to you, just move on. And this is, you know, in two ways you can take this really, you know, situation, you know, it's just basically it's going to work for you, however, because it's going to help you to make the actual adjustment or readjustment, little edit in your life, but that in itself is just going to nicely put you on the right direction, on the actual right path for you. Okay, the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Gemini, my gorgeous Geminini. You know, it's just like a little bit, oh God, you know, maybe something is not quite going to work the way you wanted it to work, you know, and it's just gonna, oh no, you know, it's gonna make you feel like a little bit of like a, oh gosh, you know, like a little stop, you know, in the middle of the road, you know, little a situation which is going to take place and that you're going to become aware of. Something is just not going to work out the way you were hoping, the way you were planning, and it's just going to cause you to maybe put yourself in a certain mode where you're going to think like, oh no, you know, like a, you know, a little bit of like a maybe heartbreaking situation, but you know what, this is so important, this is like, oh my lord, so important, this is like your big mama moment indeed, because it's pretty much so to do with things that were blocking you, that was preventing you to move on over the last 3 months. So it's better like just to move on from the situations and people or from the specific part of your life that no longer serve you, and the sooner you realize this, the better it's actually going to be, because it looks like that a certain plan is slowly going to come to an end. But as I said, this is a big moment now that I'm going to say this in itself is going to be remarkable, because by the end of the week you are going to something really quick. It's actually going to take place straight away after that. Something really quick is going to happen, something really quick is going to unfold, and there are two things that are going to be connected to it. The thing number one is just basically suddenly you are going to become aware of the certain achievement which is going to take over, and that in itself is going to connect, it's going to help you to connect and reconnect, and that particular thing is going to be primarily directly responsible for a very, very important moment when you're going to recognize exactly by the end of the week, you're going to recognize an exact part of your life that you should be paying attention to. So this is a big moment that I'm talking about, and it's going to lead towards you recognizing things that you wouldn't normally recognizing, but most certainly this is going to bring you the moment of like a really great success. It's not only about you just redirecting yourself slightly, but it's about you just finally finding yourself on a very important path, but also recognizing that a certain stage and part of your life you should most certainly move on from, because it came to an end, and that this is what is going to cause this really nice burst of energy that you are going to feel, that you are going to have, which is going to reflect on your power of your own manifestation, you know, when you want to make things happen, you know, but at the same time it's going to raise your vibration. The next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Cancerini, my gorgeous Cancer. Now, you know, something like this is about like a quite ooh la la moment, you know, when it comes to the actual important message here. And this message that you're going to get, this is going to be directly, you're going to be directly told this message, or you're going to be told this message, or this message is going to come through on your phone, or it's going to be in an email, or somebody's going to tell you directly. However, it's going to be directly connected to it, to you, sorry. And this is going to be important because it's about a change, about a really beautiful change that it's going to surprise you. Something is going to have a big, like a moment of a jump moment, you know, jumping moment, like when it comes to the little rabbit, you know, symbolically rabbit is a very kind of like a significant, in particular when it comes to something really good, something really important, something that you have been waiting for a long time, something that didn't move on, something that is going to surprise you, and then something that is also going to make a really quick jump. You see, in spiritual terms, when it comes to the rabbit, it's very important, and it's also a really, really good sign. So this in itself, this message, this information, it's going to really have such a massive, enormous impact on you, because at the same time, you know, you will see that the things are going to start moving on nicely, and there is going to be the actual realization that you are going to have about a certain opportunity opportunity as well. The certain path that you should be on, you should stay on, most certainly, and carry on. And that in itself is going to really put you on the certain quest. You are going to find yourself on a spiritual quest this week, my gorgeous Cancerini, and that spiritual quest is going to do the wonder to you, for you, because you will just feel like you want more out of life. And now this is absolutely the perfect time to actually think this way, to feel this way, to feel this energy and vibration, because it's going to take you rather far, because you are setting foundation for the rest of the year. This is why the actual June and July are rather important. So anything that's happening in June and July, it's really important because it's going to be reflect on the rest of the year. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Leo. My gorgeous Leonis, you know, like, ooh la la, you are going to feel the strength and power to do something so significant and so important, you know, and this is going to surprise you. This vibration is going to surprise you. This energy is going to surprise you. I think that you're going to start feel yourself from a rather high aspect, from a rather high angle, because like a lot of darkness and the negativity that you have been going through, you know, over the last 12 months, now that took like so much out of you when it comes to your own energy, and sometimes you may not even be aware of it, sometimes you may not even notice it, how much energy this is actually draining for you. So this is why this is going to be really big moment of the return of the energy that you are going to have, which is going to also from the beginning of the week be directly responsible for you just a really kind of finally like getting your full strength back. And that strength is going to help you to see, it's not only going to re-energize you, but it's also going to help you to see things for what they actually are. And you're going to become aware of the exact things in your life that you should protect, you know, and this is really important. And this could be absolutely anything, but you are going to have a sudden urge in order to protect certain things when it comes to your life. And you are going to be getting like a lots of little wise informations, you know, you're going to becoming aware, and you're going to be aware about like a lots of like a wise informations and feelings and emotions, you know, throughout this week. And you know, it is going to surprise you every now and then. But anything that you can actually, that comes to you in particular, if you feel like you want to protect this, you want to protect that, most certainly just go for it, because something really wise is going to happen while you're doing this, when you find yourself surrounded by that particular energy, because it's going to put you very close to your own essence, you know. And this in itself, by the end of the week, is going to remind you, your eyes are going to be rather open, but all these energies and vibration is going to lead towards a path, a very important path, which is going to really kind of put you back in your past, but it's at the same time going to bring all sorts of feelings and emotions that you are going to feel. So you're going to be standing very firmly on the ground when it comes to like you finally wanting to do something really important. But this is pretty much so to do with a change, and it's pretty much sort of like kind of getting also kind of the sense of the balance when it comes to the certain timing. This is all going to be making sense, you know, things that didn't make sense to you before, most certainly they're going to make by the end of the week. But it's all going to boil down towards you just following your own intuition, doing exactly what you're doing right now, but also at the same time to not ignore little feelings, you know, because something is going to be keep on coming to you when it comes to like a some kind of change, like a move or a change or a big adjustment that you just can't make just overnight, you know. But it's all about you just setting your mind to it, and once you set your mind to it, you're already halfway there. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Virgo. My gorgeous Virgolini, you know, this is like also like ooh la la, a quite powerful week when it comes to the reward that you are going to get. You know, like what you were like kind of working towards, what you were like focusing towards, what you wanted to achieve in particular. And you were very clever, you know, you were very smart and you were very intelligent when it comes to like a certain part of your life. like pretty much so in particular over the last 3 months, karmic reward, big mama big mama karmic reward is coming to you, my gorgeous Virgolini, and purely the things that you have been doing over the last 3 months intensely, whether you were doing them consciously, whether you were doing them subconsciously, whether you were just focusing on things. Now this is all going to be mixed up, these feelings, lots of emotions. You are going to feel rather emotional this week, my gorgeous Virgolini, but this is purely because you're entering a quite important stage when it comes to you. Massive big moment by the end of the week that you are going to have. This is going to open your eyes so much like there is no tomorrow. And the moment that you are going to have is just going to put you in touch with yourself. It's going to help you with your own reconnection, and it's also going to remind you of who you are, what your job is on this earth. But at the same time also it's going to remind you to not to ignore something very special and very specific when it comes to your life. Now it's time, it is just like almost like you have been waiting for the certain moment, for the certain point, like to kind of just step into the unknown. But that step, it's actually going to surprise you, because it's already going to start manifesting at the beginning of this week, which means that by the end of the week you are just really going to be standing very firmly on the ground, but in just looking towards the future. It's a very important moment when it comes to the future, and very important moment when it comes to the big, enormous, giant future plan. Okay, this is pretty much so to do with a whole new perspective, but no, baby, no, it is not whole new perspective, sorry, not a brand new perspective. It's pretty much so to do with the deepest parts of yourself and things that you wanted to do, things that you wanted to achieve, above all, but you were just keep on waiting for the right moment, for the right time. So now this is also at the same time going to give you the power and strength to do what you want, because it's creating like a very, very powerful spiritual shortcut. So something is going to happen like a rather vavavumish indeed, my gorgeous Virgolini, and you are going to see, you're going to become aware of your own power, how unique you are, how magnificent you are, how powerful you are, and also how wise you are. Just remember at the beginning of this reading I said it's going to be really important karmic reward that you are going to get for the past 3 months. It's a very important part of your life, whether you were like working really hard towards something, whether you were focusing really hard towards something, or whether you were trying to manifest something very much hard, very much so. It is just about a very powerful karmic moment, very important situation is going to take place, and it's also really going to put you in touch with yourself. This is such an important week, because you are gonna have such a kind of like it's not so much about an idea, but it's about an idea how to do something, not how to, it's all gonna lead towards an idea how to do something, but how to do something in the best possible way. It's just like the uncertainties are going to be cleared, and once that happens, there is just so much around you that you are going to become aware of. And very, very important moment when it comes to the inspiration. You are going to be inspired so much. Someone is going to be playing an important role when it comes to you, my gorgeous Virgolini, and you are going to be inspired, like there is no tomorrow. And this inspiration is also going to be the strong part of your spiritual energy that you needed, spiritual petrol, spiritual energy that you needed so much. You will see how much something was missing in your life, but also at the same time, you must not ignore things. You must not ignore like the voices within, because they're going to be talking you quite a lot, and it's just all going to be kind of like you all going to feel like kind of pushed towards the certain direction indeed. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Libra. My gorgeous Libra, oh la la, you know what, you are going to have a moment like, oh dear, like a bit of a wishful thinking, and this is so important. Lots of people are like, oh no, wishful thinking, something negative, sad. No, baby, no. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you're going to release yourself from the negativity. The sooner you realize this, you're going to become more wiser. You're going to kind of like have so much cleared on your own spiritual path, because at the same time there is the whole mist that it's going to kind of pick up, and once the whole mist and fog fog picks up, my God, there is just so much that happened along the journey that you weren't even aware of when it comes to your own karma, when it comes to your own spiritual journey. You know, you have been really busy, you have been worrying a lot, you have been managed, you managed to keep on top of things, but now at the same time, this is important because all these energies are going to make you very strong and very courageous this particular week. So you will become aware of exactly the certain message, the certain information, my gorgeous Libra, that you're going to have, and you're going to become aware of the actual wishful thinking, and it's just a certain part of your life, certain aspect, you will realize that you kind of need to move on, and that is a very important moment because karmically this came to an end, and if you keep on trying to do something that makes you really sad, negative, or unhappy, it's not really the way to live this life, because it's just really draining so much energy out of you. So that's why I'm really saying that it's just so important, and it's pretty much so to do with over the last 8 months, things that you have been doing, things that you wanted to achieve, things that you were hoping to achieve, but there is some kind of a wishful thinking moment that you are going to have, and this is important because you will learn how to let something go. This is a powerful moment in time, because almost like a few days later there is going to be the certain person that is just going to really step into your life in such a way where you're going to gain the necessary inspiration and energy and power and courage and self-esteem and inspiration. It's going to be like, oh my Lord, like absolutely massive, absolutely huge, absolutely enormous. The right person is going to have a massive impact and influence on you, and that in itself is just going to put you in touch with your own earthly energies, which are at the same time gonna create something very powerful when it comes to you having an important idea realization, which is just going to be absolutely huge, because it's at the same time going to create a new starting point, which is most certainly going to change the rest of your year. I just want to remind you, because this is a June and July are very important when it comes to us and when it comes to you setting your foundations for the rest of the years. Absolutely remarkable. But you also get this opportunity to kind of deal very quickly with the certain aspects of your life that you're really uncertain, that you're really kind of like maybe worried, purely because of the unknown feeling, the unknown situation. So this is going to be quite remarkable. I also highly suggest you to maybe open up yourself as much as you can, and relationships and people in your life will be playing an important role. This is something that I need to tell you, because the important people in your life who one of them is going to be playing an important role, because something is going to be pinpointed to you from somebody who knows you so well, and these people are like a God's gift, like a blessing in our life, because very often, because so much is going in our lives, we don't notice certain things. So this is why this is going to be so important indeed. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Scorpio, my gorgeous Scorpioni. Ooh la la, you're going to find yourself doubting something, but my Lord, you have me, and I just tell you now, baby, do not doubt. You must realize this, that you will have the moment of some kind of opportunity. It's actually going to take place, and I can see that you're just gonna kind of block yourself a little bit, like you're gonna kind of slow yourself down a little bit. The power of your mind, my gorgeous Scorpion, it's very strong, it's very extensive, it's very strong, it's very expansive, you can go much further than some other signs. You're very powerful, and very often, as I said before, you don't even need to say anything, and people can feel your powerful vibration and powerful energy. The same vibration, powerful vibration and energy can be very, very strong sometimes, and it can have a quite confusing effect when it comes to maybe trying to do something, trying to make this certain move, and then very often you find yourself feeling quite emotional, and this is the very essence of this energy that can actually confuse you, but above all can actually prevent you from moving on. What I'm trying to say here, my gorgeous Scorpione, that you are gonna have some kind of situation that is actually going to take place, and you will think that you're like, maybe that you're not ready, or you will think that it's opportunity, very important opportunity, but it's gonna be much smaller, much tinier, much smaller than it actually is. So this is something that is just going to start growing, from now until the end of the year. Do you remember I said how important June and July, both June and July are, because we are just now, right now, setting foundations for the rest of the year. So this is why it's gonna seem something like really tiny, but it's actually going to be really big. So, but beforehand, you just need to understand, and this is specifically when it comes to the last like about 7 to 8 months, there were certain things that you were thinking about that is connected to this particular situation. So this is not just something that is actually going to happen and come to you out of blue. But now, this specific week, something within the first couple of days, something is going to just happen. Something is going to turn. Something is going to have a little switch, And this is nothing unusual, because your personal vibration is going to rise. So you can expect like to dream a lot. You can expect to kind of think a lot. You can expect to be very deep. You can also expect to be rather wise at the same time. So this is when you're going to realize this tiny little thing, that it's going to become obvious to you. And I want you to understand, this is my answer. You got more than you need to actually move on. You've got more resources than you possibly need in order to step into this unknown direction. You've got more than you possibly even realize to actually make the next step. This is a very important part of your own spiritual step that you are going to make, but also it's pretty much so to do with your own self-esteem, confidence, and bravery. And that's why I'm saying, that you just need to understand that you've got more than you possibly can imagine in order to kind of like do this. Because what is actually going to happen, it's just going to be this tiny step, it is the tiny opportunity, it is, you're going to become aware of this. This is the certain information that is going to come to you, a message, it's going to lead towards a very powerful realization, and especially at around the midweek, you're just going to be buzzing about it like there is no tomorrow. But let me tell you that this is going to be something that is going to explode, and it's going to become enormous, and it's going to become like a big mama, in particular when it comes to the actual November 2021. Yeah, baby. So the little seed you're about to plant, but at the same time, you just need to remember to be brave, okay? This is something that I just need you to understand, purely because you're very powerful when it comes to your own feelings and emotions, and you don't want to get tangled within them in a negative way, rather positive. So you just prepare yourself when it comes to this week to be quite adventurous, but at the same time you need to prepare yourself to be quite daring as well. Okay, the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Sagittarius, my gorgeous Sagittarini. Do you know what? This week it's gonna bring you like quite a deep moment. You're gonna find yourself like in a bit of a thinking mode. And it's pretty much so like a bit of worry. That you're gonna have, and it's pretty much so to do with your own personal security. It's pretty much so to do with like a finances. It's pretty much so to do with financial situation. I know that you're gonna feel like a little bit shaked up, and something is just gonna worry you a little bit. But please don't get worried when it comes to this reading, because it is something really important is coming. The most important thing is that you are going to find yourself on a certain path where you're really going to worry, when it comes to your finances and financial situation. So this is not the week to kind of overspend. This is not the week maybe to kind of like start new, kind of like to sign something important, or to kind of like talk to people who you are not kind of like you don't have understanding with. This is not the week to talk to people who you kind of don't trust, especially when it comes to something really important. And these are the little bits and pieces that you can use in order to protect yourself. But at the same time, this is what I wanted to say. And it's just something non-related to this. somebody in your life who's so important to you is just gonna bring you so much happiness, so much joy, and it's gonna put a big smile on your face. And I'm so happy for you, because you were worrying about someone in your life, and that particular person who's so important to you that you were worrying about is just gonna have a really nice sudden turn, but really great turn. And that in itself is gonna make you feel so much better, because I think that you were worrying about this particular person quite a lot. And this is great, because there is some kind of idea that you're also going to get, you know, the certain feelings and emotions that are going to rise at the same time are going to inspire you, because kind of it's just going to be connected with a certain path that is going to start unfolding at that moment in time right in front of you. But what else I was going to say, my gorgeous Sagittarini, I hope I'm not too confusing. I'm sorry if I am. But what else I was going to say, when you have this moment about worrying, this is where things are going to get really interesting. When you get the moment, when you have this moment when you're worrying about money and the financial situation, I just want to say to you this, that around that time, don't worry too much. You know, you just know to protect yourself around people or against people that you don't trust, or if you can just like kind of leave certain contracts to sign and things like that for the week after that. But I wouldn't do it this week. But anyway, when you start thinking about worries, and when you start worrying about the financial situation, not that long after that, without me saying anything, without you trying to do anything that I even say, you are just going to find yourself in a little element, because somehow through the like a very mysterious wisdom of the spirituality and your personal path, you're going to find yourself like kind of doing something that you really love. And while you're doing something that you really love, something is actually going to come to you, like some like situation that is just going to require from you to be very brave and very daring, like a rather adventurous situation. And also at the same time, even more importantly, you will respond in a way that you don't normally respond. And this is the sign that your spiritual spirit is actually evolving on a very high stage. And it's even more important because it's June, and as I said, June and July, we are setting foundation for the rest of the year. So this is all really important. So this is actually going to lead towards you stepping into the unknown, responding in a slightly different way. And that in itself is just going to help you to realize the very important conclusion, very important mind-blowing conclusion. But also at the same time, you will see that a very negative aspect of your life is slowly coming to an end. So there will be a very important opportunity for you by the end of the week through this, my gorgeous Sagittarini. So this is something that I was very looking forward to let you know. Okay, now, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Capricorn, my gorgeous Capricornius. I mean, ooh la la. Do you know what is actually going to happen? You're going to find yourself like doing something. Listen to this. This is how this is going to take place, my gorgeous Capricornius. This week, you're going to do something that you really enjoy. You're going to find yourself doing something that you really like. You know, you're going to find yourself that you doing something that you kind of enjoy expressing yourself. You know, like maybe if you're painting, if you're like a painter, then you like painting, you know, like an artist, and then it's something like that. You know, if you're like a singer, you will be singing. If you're like enjoying your job, and you will be kind of like doing that, you know, maybe you will just like kind of meditating, maybe you will just be kind of relaxing, you know. It is going to create a very powerful moment of your personal vibration. This is the whole point here. So in the middle of something that you're going to find yourself at this week, and it's pretty much so to do with you enjoying yourself, like really loving it, really kind of like enjoying every single step. You know, this is very important because you are going to find yourself being very committed to this. So this is something to pay attention to, because you're going to find yourself being committed to the task at hand. This is very important, because there it's going to be an absolutely mind-blowing realization that you are going to have at the same time. Something is going to come to you, and this is nothing unusual, because it's at the moment in time when your vibration is very powerful, it's very magnetic, because you're projecting this, especially you, my gorgeous Capricornians, you're projecting this powerful energy to the world, you know. But at the same time, the magnetic energy is coming back, and it's bringing something very important, and it's going to bring something very important in your life, because you are gonna find yourself yourself like, then it's the realization that you are going to have. It's like, oh my God, at around the midweek, it's all about this realization that you are going to have. And towards the end of the week, it's all about you finding like kind of like a very indecisive situation. You are going to find this very, very indecisive situation that is just going to take place. And this is what all this is going to lead to towards the end of the week, my gorgeous Capricornius. And this indecisive situation, it's most certainly, you will kind of think like, I don't know, maybe I should go this way, maybe I should go that way, maybe I should take this path, maybe I should take that path. But most certainly, you are about to take the right path. And the path that you are going to take, it's going to surprise you. And this is going to happen right towards the end of the week. It's going to surprise you, and it's going to form and happen and manifest in a way towards you, giving more a kind of energy and more power and more Vavumish energy and more power towards the certain part of your life that it's actually going to surprise you over the other part of your life. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's going to be big emotional, spiritual evolvement that you're actually going to have. You also may feel like a little bit like emotional, but in the best possible way, because there is going to be the surge of emotions you're going to have throughout the week, but also at the same time a very, 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 very important sign and confirmation you are going to have that you are on the right path indeed. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Aquarius, my gorgeous Aquamarini. I just want to say to you, oh my Lord, it is very important week, very big moment that you are going to have, but it's really entirely down to you. A big dilemma you're going to have, but you need to know that this dilemma is entirely down to you. This is a big, big, big moment. You have created something, but you also at the same time, what you have created, you just kind of need to be just a little bit careful about at the same time. And when I say that you need to be a little bit careful about at the same time, because you are going to become aware of a very interesting opportunity. But that opportunity that you are going to become aware of, it's going to open your eyes about somebody else, that you should be paying attention to in your life. But that other person that you need to pay attention to in your life, it's so important for you to understand that there is something quite significant that it's actually going to take place by the end of the week. So your eyes are going to be open. So what you need to remember, just to not to rush with things whatsoever, because I see that someone is going to try to kind of rush you towards something, and somebody, my God, somebody's going to try to kind of rush you towards something, like the certain person in your life or certain person around your life. But to you, you will know that something is just not going to make sense whatsoever, and you're also going to find yourself with a really big question, like why? And that in itself, it's going to require even more like a looking into when it comes to you. It's going to require even more like retrospection, inspection, and it is going to cause like a little hermit moment that you are going to have towards the end of the week. But then it's all about you just kind of like finally like having such a powerful enlightening moment, and you are going to become aware of this other person where the certain mask is going to fall. And once you see the eyes of that person, it's just all a symbolical meaning that I'm talking about in the spiritual terms. Of course the mask is going to be fallen, and once you see the certain eyes, there is something that you're just not going to be able to go to pass by. Something is just going to be sticking out, something is not going to make sense. And this is where your wonderful psychic moment is that you are going to have, because you are an empath. And now this psychic moment is also going to lead towards a remarkable revelation, and the revelation that you are going to have at around the end of the week, my gorgeous Aquamarini, it's also going to set you on the path. It's going to set you on the journey. Your vibration is going to rise up like a big mama, like there is no tomorrow. And this is very important, because you are going to find yourself like being inspired so beautifully. You're going to find yourself on the spiritual quest, and the spiritual quest is at the same time all going to require from you to kind of like just kind of go back within your life, you know, when it comes to your life, go back to over the last 24 months and just like kind of like a see the certain parts that are like kind of not making sense, and you will see that few different things that are not making sense are always caused at around maybe the same person or at around maybe the same group of people. So this is very important for you to realize, because the sooner you realize this, the better it's going to be for you to actually move on. On another hand, somebody very important to you, like a family member, it's going to have a significant news, very important news, and you should listen to them, because that news, it's also going to require from you to help them. You know how to help them. You are the one who has got this power and healing energy, but you may not be aware of the extent of this kind of problem. So I can just help you now. I can help you realize that somebody very close to you is just going to need a little bit of help from you, because you are the one who has got a magic touch when it comes to your own healing, but also you are going to have a mind-blowing input and very important impact on their life. So this is going to come back to you like 1,000 times more karmically. Of course, I'm not saying to do this because you can get a karmic reward. No, baby, no. But I'm just saying that this is the very powerful time and strong time when it comes to the karma and return of karma, and also when it comes to the testing, you know. It is going to be a little test, you know, that you're gonna have, and somebody's gonna try to wind you up. I'm sorry, Aquamarine, it's quite complex. Somebody's gonna try to wind you up. Whoever tried to wind you up this way, just rise above it, baby, you know. And once you rise above it, you are the one who's just holding all the things together, you know, rather than just like wasting your own energy. This is very important, because it's just you're gonna realize that this is not really significant, so you just don't want to waste your energy whatsoever. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Piscelini. My gorgeous Pisces, for those of you who don't know, Pisces are Piscelini in my own little world, in my incredible little world. Okay, so my gorgeous Piscelini, I love you so much. Do you know what? You are going to feel a little bit emotional this week. You know, you are going to feel like the first couple of days are going to seem like, oh God, you know, everything is slow, nothing is happening, you know, but then this is just, I want you to understand that your psychic feelings and your vibration is going to rise, and very often when that happens, you know, we just find ourselves in this energy that sometimes it's not as easy to kind of recognize, and it makes us feel like we are a little bit slow, like we are a little bit down, like we are a little bit deep. It's just like a hermit moment, but it's not really hermit moment. What this is going to happen to you within the first few days, my gorgeous Piscelini, this is so important. You are going to feel a very strong connection. You know, first of all, there is going to be kind of like a somebody who is just going to kind of be on your mind, some kind of person from your past, and this is going to happen to you just out of the blue, and it's going to happen in a very mysterious and interesting way, whether you're going to be sleeping and maybe you will be dreaming about this person, maybe you will be meditating and then that person is just going to come to you, maybe you're just going to wake up in the morning. You know, I said to you many times that when we wake up in the morning, the first few minutes, we are still part of all sorts of different dimensions, different realities, different realms, you see, because when we sleep, you know, our whole brain is just basically like kind of like in a completely different dimension. We dream all the time. We may not necessarily remember. We have astral projections. We don't necessarily remember. But what am I trying to say to you is just like the first few minutes are so important, because we are still like pretty much so part of this heavenly dimension. So this is why very often, you know, you need to pay attention to what is on your mind, but in particular who is on your mind, because the specific person from your past is suddenly gonna take place, and it's just, it could be absolutely like XYZ person, somebody who maybe was just like a part of your life for a little while, or somebody who you just saw for a little while. You know, it doesn't really matter. It could be even somebody who you know really, really well, like a really great friend that you've lost your touch with. The bottom line is that this person is going to come on your mind, but at the same time, you need to understand that this is going to raise your vibrations to the point where it's just going to reconnect you with an important part of your past. So it's all about that particular person playing an important role when the significant, my lord, big mama part of your life is about to be unlocked. And this is something that I'm talking about. This is something that is going to be significant. This is something that is going to be enormous. This is something that is going to be magical, because it's going to help you to realize. It's going to be like, oh my God. And then a couple of days later, there is going to be a very important information that you're going to come across, and that information, it's going to open your eyes, it's going to inspire you, it's going to be absolutely remarkable. And this is all going to be connected to this particular moment when something is going to be unlocked within. And that in itself, it's an absolutely powerful sign that you are actually gonna, at around the midweek, you are really gonna realize what really makes you sad, what really makes you unhappy, what really brings you down, what really makes the world gray. You're gonna realize that the power is within you, and you're gonna realize that if you don't help to yourself, that maybe nobody else will. I mean, it sounds a bit morbid, but you know what I mean. Like, you're gonna realize that you are the one who has got the most powerful extent of this energy, the most strong, the most powerful vibration can only come from you once you reach a quite significant moment and point in your life, because you will know exactly what to do with the part of your life that was really draining your energy so much, and it was making you feel sad, it was making you feel negative, and above all, it made you feel stuck. So this is my lord, this is an important moment of you like unstucking yourself, really. So this is going to take place from the midweek, at around the midweek, and then onwards. Then you can expect towards the end of the week, my gorgeous Piscelini, what you can actually expect is that you're going to take a very important step, and this step is going to be really tiny, really small, not really significant as such. But then again, gosh, you see, something just fell. Oh my lord. Do you know what fell? My gosh, one of these, you see, I've got these plants here, you see, one of them fell. I suppose this is a good sign. You see, my gorgeous Piscelini is just scared me, because one of the plants that was just on the wall just fell. So it's my sign that I have to like kind of take care of it like in a different way. But anyway, so sorry. So it's a really good sign, because in my spiritual terms, this means that something is just going to take place really quickly, basically. So something is going to happen with a snap of a finger, So the situation that is going to take place from midweek towards the end of the week, it's all about you having this little opportunity, this little option that is going to seem really tiny. But my lord, this is when the plant fell. You see, it's going to seem tiny, but it's going to be absolutely huge. And this is the power of June. This is the power of July. This is what I'm trying to explain, that what we are doing now and what is happening right now, it's very important when it comes to the rest of the year, because you are setting foundations for the rest of the year. This is going to be more important than you can possibly imagine. So the little option and opportunity is most certainly something to pay attention to, because it's going to be hidden, It's going to seem like it's really tiny. Even if it's something like, oh my God, like a little promotion. Okay, I shouldn't say little promotion, but even if it's something like a little up step, like a little promotion or a step into the unknown when it comes to just making a tiny little change in your life, whatever comes up as in a form of opportunity. If you're working, maybe like someone, your boss is going to offer you something. If you're looking for a job, you might get a certain job and it's going to seem like, oh, I don't want to do this. But then again, at the same time, it's going to be something remarkable. It's really important to pay attention to what this is, because it's to do with you readjusting your life, but also gaining strength and power to it. It's going to seem something really tiny, and this is exactly why it's going to be so magical, because it's at the same time rather mysterious, but also you're planting your seed, an important karmic seed, which is going to just really take off like there is no tomorrow. The glimpse of this are going to be like very powerful when it comes to December 2021. In December 2021, you will see that your life changed just because of that. Yeah, I know it's going to take a while, but most importantly, it's just like basically doing the right thing. By the time you get to the actual March 2022, it's going to be like, oh my God, you will be able to do some something absolutely magical, enormous, huge when it comes to your life, and doing huge step, but above all, rewarding yourself with something that you weren't able to reward yourself before. So these are very important beginning steps that you are going to make. I was absolutely looking forward to let you know this, my gorgeous Piscelinis, indeed. Okay, my gorgeous people, I love you all so much. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Okay, I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. So I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you, my gorgeous people. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye. Mwah.